Take one shot.
Thanks. Okay, so good morning. Well, really. And do you have some topics? Because if you saw the event on the net, you saw that you had to bring here some topics to talk about if you wanted. So raise your hands if you have some topics. I will not write down messages. I just use Microsoft Word, just to note things. I remember that you had one, at least one. Okay, one. First topics.
So the metaphysics, difference between mind and matter, and other aspect is rationalism
well, one topic must be almost one word or two, okay, after we discuss it. Just, which one is this one? Metaphysics?
Metaphysics.
Okay, and the other one?
Love.
Love. Well, excuse me, first of all, let's try to present everybody to be able to say he said that and he said that. So a little bit of names. I start, I'm Guido. You're not Guido, you are.
Kasia? Karina.
Ah, Paul.
You're not Karina.
Damn it.
Yes,
Paul.
Sylvain.
Maurizio.
Asha.
Well, so
And you?
Guido. Bad memory.
I need a hug.
Sylvain.
Hello.
Chest. And his body. And where you want? If you want to. And love presented by Paul. And which other topics do we have?
Humanity.
Humanity. Presented by Magda. And what else?
How about differences? Or cultural differences, understanding each other?
Presented by Kasia. What else? Come on, don't be shy.
Misunderstandings.
Misunderstanding. Another from Kasia.
Isn't that just one?
You know, my list, I'm checking.
Maurizio.
Emotions.
Emotion.
Oh. I love you, man.
Time.
Responsibility.
Who said responsibility? You, Karina. Karina.
Okay, influence.
Influence.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Evelina.
The freedom of choice. Oh.
Freedom of choice.
Yeah.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think it's enough.
Yeah.
If somebody had just one another somebody that still haven't presented nothing,
I have a very general one. Could be.
but you already presented love.
Yeah.
If you want to change, you can change.
No, love is good. I like
You
love.
keep love.
Love.
Okay. And if somebody else, I think that just Anna presented nothing. Come on, present something. Passion. Passions, plural. Perfect. So now I will read in the order, and when I will call your name and your issue, you will have to tell us in a couple of phrases why you want to talk about that.
No!
That's You're like a school teacher.
Yeah, it's just advertising your issue. It's just why not? If you love it, there must be a reason why.
Imagine life without
I chose
responsibility.
this because I want to get information about it.
Yeah, it's not yet your turn, okay? Okay, Sylvain, metaphysics.
Yes. And so, as a mathematician physicist, I have some precise ideas about the difference between mind and matter, and the ideas which, in my opinion, are confirmed by quantum physics.
Okay, now raise your hands, everybody that want to give a question to Sylvain about this issue. Why we have to talk about metaphysics? Because I think well, the question that you prefer. Raise your hands, all the questions for Sylvain.
Oh, it's a very difficult topic.
Yeah.
Let's start with this and...
You haven't raised your hand.
Because
Okay.
I don't have question. It's
Okay,
a
so-
statement.
So,
Aha, she
okay. So if we have just one hand, you have to choose just between Vadim and Vadim. So I think you will choose Vadim and take his question.
Well, it's almost, as you said, it's a very complex topic, obviously, and I have to say I don't know a lot about it. Obviously, I'm the expert here, but it's just a simple question: mind and matter. You look at these two things. Which one is the real one? Is it mind or matter?
So, in short, matter is a composite thing. It's composite between the mathematical and the conscious.
Oh, okay.
In my view.
Yeah. Okay. So what about mind?
What?
So what about mind? So that's matter.
So,
yeah.
the mathematical and the conscious are the two fundamental.
So they're separate. They're completely separate.
They are not completely separate, they can interact, but they are the fundamental kinds.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So love, Paul.
Yes. Imagine a world without love. I don't want to. So I think love
You don't
is...
want a
I don't
world
know.
without. Okay.
Without love, I mean, the world without love is kind of like completely void of any other emotions, because I think it's one of the strongest emotions that a person can feel, and I think it's a very strong motivation as well for many people. So I think it's important, and a lot of people take it for granted as well. A lot of people don't know what it is. Sometimes people just think that it's just it's a word, it's a meaningless word, you know? So I think it's worth to talk about it. What is it really? Like, is it all happy and stuff, or does it also involve a little bit of, you know, suffering and pain and stuff like that? What is it? Basically?
Okay. Thank you. Questions for Paul?
Two.
More? So now it's raised hand?
Yeah, but we have just one hand, so you have to choose between Kasha and Kasha.
No.
No, yeah.
Kasha and Sylvain.
No, I guess
If you're really
ladies.
fast to answer, you can take even both.
Okay, ladies first, so Kasha.
How would you describe love in 5 words? What is love?
In 5 words?
Like, give some adjectives or some first 5 words which are coming to your mind when you think about love.
I have exactly 5 words. Love is giving and taking.
Giving and taking is only 3 words.
Love is.
Ah,
I don't know, what is love in adjectives?
Yeah, like what is love? And
Uh, selflessness. And I'm not saying only romantic love. I mean, it could be
In general,
in
yeah.
general, yeah. So, selflessness, sacrifice.
friendship.
Could be friendship, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Friendship, trust.
Excuse me. After, can we close the door after? Is it possible? Will it be possible just to close the door? Because it is really difficult to have people passing by all the time.
We have a concert at 8, and
Yes.
this is the only way to go on for lessons.
Okay, perfect. Catastrophe, thank you.
Now if you want, you can close the door. But
Oh.
at 7, I must open the door.
But it is 7.
It is 7 o'clock now.
7:30, I think.
Okay, let's take this
So
half an hour. Hey,
Have a
Test.
seat.
Witam.
Or,
Yep. Just give the name to young people. What's your name? Okay. Everybody heard it?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody know. Perfect. We have
Friendship.
yeah, so what is love? Friendship, giving, selflessness, trust,
Taking also.
taking a little bit, yeah, it's like give and take situation, relationship. If it's only giving, then it's not love, because it's like a dictatorship. Kind of.
okay. You take the other question or you go on?
Sure, sure.
Okay, do you consider the question of the practical obstacles and practical means to get over the obstacles in the problem of finding love? Because for me it's a very important question, more important than what it is.
Finding love, obstacles in finding love.
Right.
So what do I feel are some of the obstacles?
Do you consider this question?
No, it's, of course, it's a good question. Love is not everywhere. It's hard to find sometimes. Most of the time, actually. So yeah, that's part of like that feeling. Like once you find it, it's like a journey. You know, it's like I don't know. From my perspective, it's like everybody's looking for love and nobody finds it. But once you find it, it's that journey that you didn't have it. It makes it even better.
Do you think it always goes for the better?
Well-
Personally, I don't think so. But
Well, that depends, because if it's that's getting into like, is it love or is it lust, or is it like you think it's love but it's really not, that kind of thing. What if it's like an abusive relationship or something? Sure, that's part of it. That's part of the question of what is it.
I wouldn't think so. But okay.
Yeah, just one question per person. Okay, let's go on. Humanity, Magda. Why do you want to talk about humanity?
Yeah, I'm thinking about humanity because of my job in corporation. It's the first time and I can't find that I can be the human being. Simply I should be a robot and this is what I'm trying to.
Okay, questions about humanity. We have Paul and Kasia.
No.
Oh.
She had to share, okay? you have to choose one of them before, and after we'll take the other two, because normally when we have just two.
So my question was to you: what is the most important part or aspect of humanity?
To feel that I can show who I really am.
So you take the other question too?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask, like, is it really difficult to find a soulmate in a corporation, or to show them who you really are? Because I think that even if you work in a corporation, you can split, like, you are working, you are doing your job, this is your workplace, but this is the person who is working next to you, and this is like a separate story. Here you are giving your knowledge, and here you are giving your values, or even if it's a girl, like, you know, like, you can be friends with the person who's working next to you.
I hope that
So is it like easy for you to find a soulmate in a corporation? Or you think it's impossible?
now I'm thinking it's better not to wait for it.
Then you have a good experience, I think.
Okay, so to be brief, we're deciding what we're going to talk about. So now everybody that proposes an issue will defend the issue in front of the others, okay? It's just, and your name is? Okay. Differences, Kasia.
Yes, differences. I think it's an important topic because differences are everywhere. Even, differences like the cultural differences, differences in the way we look like, differences in the way we think, and among all these differences, how we can communicate with the other person and how many compromises we can go. That's why it's a topic which is like a huge question mark for me, because every day we have to deal with the differences almost at every step.
Questions for Kasia? You have just Evelina, sorry.
Okay, two questions. What is good and bad in differences?
What is good? Every difference depends. What kind of difference can be like a challenge for you, but it's a great opportunity to learn something new. It's just up to you how do you deal with it. And what is bad is that sometimes we can misunderstand something. Something what is different, it can be strange for us, and we can judge it at the beginning in a wrong way. Later on to discover that, oh, actually I like this difference.
Okay, and
Difference doesn't mean bad.
Okay, but can you imagine the world without differences?
No.
Okay, it would be bored or...
Yeah, I think it will be bored and plain and just like not too easy. Everybody's the same, everything is the same. You will be bored easily, right? So differences are also like the engine sometimes, which is pushing you, and then you are choosing something in your life.
Okay, so and when do you...
Hey, just one. Already two questions, it's not an interview, you know? Okay. Let's go on if we choose this argument. But thank you for the,
Which is the time for somebody to talk?
yeah, normally...
You're counting this?
No, I'm not counting exactly the time, but we try to be...
2 minutes.
Just one or two phrases normally.
Very nice.
Yeah, I just have to guarantee the time for everybody. What's your name? Łukasz. Bardzo miło. And well, let's go on. I think that Gianmarco or Asha can explain you what's going on here. And maybe Asha, let's hear from the beginning. If you want to explain, we go on. Thank you. And once again, Kasia, misunderstandings. Why do you want to talk about misunderstandings?
I already mentioned the difference a little bit about this, but misunderstandings can complicate our life. And I was wondering, how do we deal sometimes with misunderstanding? How do we behave after it? When you misunderstood somebody, or when you make a mistake, shall you admit to that or no? Or is it better to escape from the responsibility? But there will be another misunderstandings. When you talk, even among foreigners, like we are here, it's easy to misunderstand somebody. Communication problems, languages, different mentalities and way of thinking.
Questions for Kasia about misunderstandings. We have two.
Okay, can I? We will gossip later. No, I will answer it both.
Which one you chose the first?
Yes, please.
What would you say would be the main situations when a misunderstanding arises, and how should we deal with it?
It was my question also similar.
What was
Because
yours?
Kate work in an international company. I try to asking you about how you deal with, because I think you have a lot of this kind of situation, that you misunderstanding somebody, and how you are, how you deal with it.
Okay, like, so it seems like this is because of the language misunderstandings, for example, right?
So we leave them as one question.
Yes, let's
Okay.
tell me. So, okay, I always try to dig and check what was the question for, or what was the somebody's thought, what somebody was thinking. First, you can reply to somebody, you can get this person wrong, and then he or she thinks like, oh, you don't understand me. No, I don't understand you, and we continue, and we can struggle with it through the end of the word. So it's always good to ask, like, sorry, can you repeat again? Can you tell me what was your question? What was in your mind? Even in this simple light conversation, like we can have, like, what do you mean? What did you want to get from me by this question? So ask, clarify, and try to give the correct answer or action.
Okay, now we have Emotions by Maurizio.
Pretty good.
So what I would like to discuss with you about emotion is, in your opinion, what is the real identity of our emotions? And also, why they are there? Do they really connect our personality to ourselves? Why? What they are for, basically? Just 2 or 3 easy concepts, but maybe there's a lot to talk about.
Questions about?
Okay, the first
Take it easy.
okay, the first question is, if the person is not showing her emotions, do you think that this person is building a wall or just don't feel something?
I think it's a kind of natural not to feel emotions. Statistically, in sociology, they say there is a kind of 1.6% of people in today's society, they are considered the psychopath. And one of the most important components of the psychopathology is not to feel emotions. You not connect yourself with the others in the right way. You just fake emotions. You made another question. You made why people they don't show. The matter is maybe not what you show, what you don't want to communicate. You still have your emotions basically if you're not a psychopath, but it's a kind of limit.
We have other questions. We had Paul and Magda, now we have a new one. So you have choice between Paul and Magda, but it's gonna be really evil because now you cannot answer both. You have to choose between Magda and Paul, and the other one will have no chance to tell.
Maybe they
Now,
should decide.
I want to be fair because Karina was the second one to raise hand, so...
Yes, but I forgot my.
Wow! So come on, you should say you really answered
Okay.
to my question
Okay.
while you were talking.
Okay,
But-
how you feel? You are more emotional or down-to-earth person?
Or?
Down-to-earth person. How to say it in English?
Yeah, that's it.
Down-to-earth person. How you feel about yourself?
I'm emotional, but I used
Come on.
I personally am used to control my emotions. And another point is emotions and feelings. What's the difference? So you can control your emotions because they are spontaneous. So there's something like your mind reacts in a kind of automatism. In psychology we call it trigger. When an event takes place and you react with an emotion. But feelings are different. So your question is how I am. I am emotional, but I control my behavior.
Great.
Okay.
Great answer.
So now we have
Oh my god.
time, value.
Well, time is, I think it's a very difficult concept to understand, I think. Well, we all seem to have some basic understanding of it, but when we talk about it, there's different opinions. And you know, some people, we also, our daily actions are guided by time. We have timetables, schedules, and things. But some people might say that time doesn't exist. So what's the point of us actually worrying about time if it doesn't exist?
Questions for Vadim about time. We have Maurizio and who else? Come on, candidates.
Just a remark, I think this
Just candidates now. After Vadim, we'll have the choice. So we have Sylvain, Maurizio, and Paul. Is that true? Okay. Vadim, come on.
Choose. Apple.
Damn, I wasn't expecting to go first. Okay, no, my question would be, do you feel that in a general scope of things, do you feel that time is actually relevant? Or is it something that's created artificially by man?
I would go for the second one. It's something which is artificial. And so obviously it's something we need, obviously. Something very practical. But that's what it is, in my opinion. Just a true practical truth.
So for you, time not exists.
Hey, you have to raise your hand if you want to pose a question.
So strict.
It's my job.
Takim page.
Okay, you have the right to choose one another between Maurizio and Sylvain. Maurizio?
What's your favorite definition of time as a concept? There are several, for instance. If you read on the dictionary, mostly they say the time is the consequence of events. So it means something happens now, something else happens now, this is time.
Well, as I was saying before, I think it's just a simple tool. It's a very practical tool that we use for our everyday sort of things. And, but even it's not. It's very difficult to measure time because if you look at studies they have done, and this time has been proven to not to follow the same pace, if you like. So it depends on the point of view. So my opinion is just something which you use as a tool, but it's not. It shouldn't be that important as a concept itself.
Okay. And now we have responsibility with Karina.
Oh my god. So I chose this topic because I want to get answers how you feel about your responsibility. For example, when you make some decision, are you responsible for it? Are you feeling some responsibility for this choice or something like this? How are you deal with?
Questions for Karin about responsibility. You shocked everybody. But we have a half
It
a
was on
person
your
from
shot.
Paul. Still haven't decided. Gianmarco,
Question is,
you have the question too?
yeah,
So choice between them two, but you can choose them both. So just decide from which one you want to start.
He was first. Go ahead.
my question is, you are asking this because somebody told you that you are irresponsible?
But I'm not responsible?
Yeah. I mean, you're asking this because somebody told you that you are not, that you are irresponsible?
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't want to answer.
She has to be mysterious, like a woman, you know.
I have a colleague here, a consultant. He already told us to pray. Good question. You got a point. Wow. Second question. If you want to take it, but normally we have just two. Why not?
Mine is just a simple question. Like, do you feel that responsibility in people's lives should be very important?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And yes, for me it's very important.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I try to be responsible, but I know that sometimes I'm not.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
As Karina.
What defines responsibility in general? Not necessarily for you, but what is responsibility?
No, my goodness.
I know, sorry.
Evelina with influence.
Okay, everyone is talking about how other people influence on one person, okay? But my topic is about how the state of the mind of this person is it
The state of the?
the state of the mind of the person, is it a positive or negative influence on what happens in her life? I mean, what kind of people did this person meet, what kind of aims did she reach, and so on.
Okay. Questions for influence from Evelina. We have Kasia. Kto jeszcze? Vadim. So we have two.
Okay, Asha.
I'm wondering.
Asha is this one. This is Kasia.
Yes, you said Kasia. I'm wondering, do you think that we should really care about what the other people are thinking about us, and then further they can put some influence on us, some pressure?
Okay, in my opinion, you cannot say that this is the border, I don't care what other people think, but you can choose what kind of people you are meeting. I mean that if your state of mind is that you want to meet let's say positive person, then you care about what they say, okay? Because they think that they are worthy to listen to them. If you think that this person is negative or this person in her life is not as successful and so on, you will not take care what she is talking about. Because this person in her life is not someone with whom you would like to follow. I mean that if you see that this person is a good person and the thing and the way she talks, it's not only that this person wants to hurt you, but wants to make you better one. Then you just care about their opinion. But if the person only just wants to show her bad feelings about you and has anger inside, and just to want to take care of this anger on you, for example, because you are someone who can get this revenge, then you shouldn't just pay so much attention to that.
Okay. And the other question were from?
I guess it's about influencing people. That's something we do every day in some way or another. The workplace, our families. Should we do it? Should people try and influence others?
We are doing this all the time. You cannot say I'm not doing anything. Even if you don't take notice about it. You might say, okay, I didn't answer to his opinion, to what this person made, but without any answer, you still make the answer of it. If someone is hurting your friend and you are doing nothing, then this is your answer. The answer is I don't care.
Okay. So we have freedom of choices from Asha.
Yeah, last time I got interested a little bit with neuroscience and all things like that, and I'm thinking how much our biology, let's say, holistic, influence our freedom of choice. Furthermore, if we can talk about freedom of choice and choices in any way, if everything is determined, our biology, neurons, etc., and how it all should be, for example, evaluated by other people, like I don't know, legal acts, judgment, things like that.
Questions about freedom of choice for Asha. Everybody's terrified by the idea to not be free. They don't want to discover it if it's like that. Just joking. Vadim, wait a minute. Other candidates? Sylvain, wait a minute. Other candidates? So we have just two questions. You too? Okay. I remember so you have three questions. You have to start from one of them and you will answer just two of them.
Okay, start with Łukasz.
I think sentence that if you take everything, you can...
Just be louder because I don't think they hear you.
I think quotation that if you take a man everything he has, you cannot control him. But if you give him something, then you can control him. So maybe the choice when you don't have a thing, simple thing, you could do whatever you want. But if you have something, like money, job, you can be controlled by government, by
money. By money also.
Yeah.
I think it's another point of view, because I was thinking more about the inner things that determine our freedom of choice, and this another was also very interesting, like how much our freedom depends on other people, government, and everything around. I mean, do you suggest that if you are living inside a society like our, let's say, modern society with government and everything, you have less freedom than people who, I don't know, let's say, old concept by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, old concept by Jean-Jacques Rousseau about agreement between nature and culture. Something like that?
I think honest.
Hey, she has to answer. You cannot add nothing. After you choose this topic, you can add everything you want. Okay? We have just another question. So now, raise your hands. Everybody that have still want another question. We still have the question of Vadim, Sylvain, and now we have Jean-Marc too. New candidate. You have to choose one of them. Just one. And normally it's better if you choose somebody that spoke less. Okay?
So I choose Jean-Marc.
Okay. Why? Because if you are living outside society, let's say in the nature, outside the typical, you can enjoy things, but not 100% because of the simple fact that you cannot share them. Because things are good, in my humble opinion, only when you can share them with somebody else. So if you escape from the society, there is the movie like Sean Penn, the director, Into the Wild. For example, the guy studies, after studies, all the money in the bank account to a charity. Then, this is the thing. And then he figured this out, that if, no matter the fact that the sunset is beautiful, I am free, if I cannot share this with anybody else, it doesn't make any sense. He decided to come back to society, the river was too high. So like, if you don't share it, so this is why it does, in my opinion,
what is the question?
Another question is, do you think that is a solution to, starting from this assumption, do you think it could be still a solution to go outside the society?
If someone everyone likes to be alone, why not? But I strongly believe that what really makes our humans, the society, because we are born as let's say creatures without interactions, social interactions with other members of society, first family, like other people. You cannot learn language, thinking, anything, you know. So it's a different question, I think. Like if someone created by society, he can choose refusal. You can refuse the society on his own. I don't know. I'm not this kind of person.
Okay. Now we have the last one.
But I'm curious about something. I'm sorry for interrupting.
I'm sorry too because we have no more questions. Anna, for patience.
Guido, you are a dictator.
Yes.
I never seen you.
The problem is that
Such a shame.
if we are not strict in rules, after shy people will never have time to express. And the job of a philosophical cafe is really to allow everybody to express themselves.
Yeah, no, yes.
That's why you have to be strict on rules.
Of
But
course.
I had a question related to that.
Yeah.
I was curious of serious question in that topic.
And it's not a problem because you can vote this topic, and after, if we discuss that topic, you can say everything.
Okay.
And about passions. Yeah, be louder. Okay.
Our work can be also our passion. It's not always like this, and why? We choose different work than passions.
We still have a couple of questions, even maybe more. I don't know. Sylvain, you have a question? No. Yeah, no. So we have two questions for the moment. Choose one. Well, already.
Yes, Guido, the work of Guido is
It's not a question.
No. Do you think that Guido's job is also his passion? So it's possible.
We still have time for another question.
Yeah, I was just wondering, do you think that it's important for a person to have a passion or passions in their life? For example, like if you do a job that you don't like, is it also important to have a hobby or a passion? Painting, music, photography, for example?
I think it's very important, and now it's not always like this. People forgot about it.
But why do you
They
think?
don't have time for passions.
Well, why do you think it's important? Why do you think it's important?
For me, it's important, and I can say, like, in my opinion, it's like this.
Go.
Okay, normally now, if somebody wants to take a beer or a coffee or something, we can have a 5 minutes break, even maybe 2, just to order something and go back. And after we vote the topic and we discuss the topic. If you want to go on right now without any calls, raise your hand. For people that want to go on right now, and after, no, I think you want the little break. Yeah. So don't raise the hand for the first time. You're voting against yourself. Who won first? Who won not the polls? Who won go on now? Who won 5 minutes break? Really 5 minutes?
I want to go to the toilet. So I want to break.
Break for everybody.
I'm second in the
And so, okay. We will have to vote now the topic that we want to discuss. So you can vote for every topic. If you like every topic, you vote everything no problem, totally no problem. We are a totally open democracy. You can vote even all candidates. So, who wants to discuss the first argument that was metaphysics proposed by Sylvain?
Yes, which can be related with time. Because it's
Yeah. What do you want? Who wants to discuss metaphysics? Raise your hand. One. Okay. Who wants to discuss law proposed by Paul? You're out of time for campaign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Who wants to discuss humanity proposed by Magda?
Ale można
Who wants to discuss absolutely you cannot discuss
My też właśnie związane z law. Mam z tym. Sorry.
Me too. Okay, humanity from Magda. 1, 2. Differences from Kasia. 1, 2, 3, 4. Misunderstanding from Kasia. Yes, there's always Kasia, but it's another topic, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Emotions proposed by Maurizio. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Time proposed by Vadim. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Responsibility proposed by Karina. 1. It was 1 or just half? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Influence proposed by Evelina. Influence. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4. Freedom of choices, Asha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Anna proposed passions. Passions. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. And nobody wants passions. So we have 2 times 7. Love from Paul and emotion from Maurice.
The same is similar.
But we have to go again.
Right, we could do like
Combine.
Yeah. Love and emotions.
Love and emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions and feelings.
Yeah.
Emotions and feelings.
We try to go. After, if we really cannot get by, we connect them. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Alright. Well,
So,
so what are we doing? Are we connecting?
I don't know, we can fight, who'll survive.
Come on.
Okay, but in the middle, because there are girls.
Okay, that's no problem. Let's go.
You can help everybody.
Let's take your glasses off. Is that
Okay.
okay?
Love. First topic is love. Who wants to discuss about love, not emotion? Now you can vote just once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Oh my god, you won, man.
Love always wins.
Love what a cliche.
Who wants to vote for emotions?
Only 1 week ago.
Tak, teraz. A, nie możesz mieć nas dwóch.
Okay, this philosophical cafe will be about love.
My job is done. That's yes. Come on.
So now we have to know who wants to start saying something about love, okay? And it cannot be Paul, somebody else, not Paul.
Can't buy me love. Love is all I need.
What was the question? I'm sorry.
Who want to start saying something about love?
And not.
Okay. Now we're collecting candidates. We have Kasia. Who else? Maurizio. And who else?
Can I say something? Yeah.
No, you can't. You have just to choose between Kasia and Maurizio.
So I have to pick who says something
Yeah.
about love? Ah, okay.
And well, now the rule is that while people are talking, if you just think, well, I want to say something exactly about that, you don't interrupt people. You just raise your hand, I write down your name, and after it will be your talk, okay? Okay, so we have a lot of guests.
To talk about love.
It's really wonderful.
Love is all.
And
Hello.
okay.
Buongiorno. So, time out. Okay, so I have to, so two people raise their hands and now I have to pick which one says something about love. Can I pick two or no?
You cannot pick two persons that have to start because just one can start.
Ah, to start, okay, alright.
It's just technically impossible.
No, well. Stranger things have happened. Okay, Kasia, go.
It just came to my mind right now, like love. It's such a big topic, and there are so many different kinds of love, and this is amazing for me. Like, you can find the guy of your life, and you can say like, wow, I'm in love with him. He's the man with whom I want to live forever. You can find another guy who can be your best friend, and you can say clearly that, yeah, I love him, but I love him in a different way. I can love Karina as my girlfriend because I can say that, yeah, I can count on this person, she is kind, and so on and so on. And this is amazing for me. It came to my mind right now, like love. What is love? It's not only guy and girl, but it's also friendship, it's love to the whole world, whenever you enjoy your life. Love to travel, passion. All in such a one small word.
Okay.
Magic for me.
Nobody raised his hand while Kasia were speaking, so now we have Mauricio. If somebody wants to say something, just raise your hands, okay? And I will write down your name. It will be your turn. We have you after?
Yeah, I just want to say I love your dress.
Well, sure. Maurizio.
So, it is interesting how psychologists interpret the how every single person loves. Every human being, it seems they love in a different way. I mean, love probably is the same, but it presents to ourselves in different ways. Sometimes, when you fall in love, somebody start to think of the person they felt in love continuously all the time. Sometimes people they just feel a kind of wish to be next to the person. Sometimes somebody want just to give the best to make the person they felt in love the best they can. So, how many ways to fall in love do you think exist? Is it true, as psychologists they say, every single human being they love in a different way?
Okay, we have Evelina.
Okay, when I listen to your speech, I get an idea that when you fall in love, you always make this person very idealistic, okay? You don't fall in love in a real person until you don't get to know this person better. And to get to know this person better, you need time. So when you meet the person, you have her idea, her picture in your mind, okay? You think that this person is the person which you got here. So sometimes when you get to know somebody better, you feel, okay, at the beginning I was in love, but later on the love ends. But it's not that the love ends, it's just that you were not able to see the person in the reality. You were still was amazed in the picture which you got inside yourself.
We have now Chris.
It's fantastic to talk about being love because the greatest feelings. But I have heard that up to now the exist of love doesn't exist. The definition of love doesn't exist. Everybody feels what is this. The definition doesn't exist, but it is great.
Okay, we have Paul. No, we have Vadim, excuse me.
So, love is obviously a very important passion, very important to all of us, all our lives. And it's such beautiful emotions and things, but sometimes I'm often amazed how quickly can things turn sour, turn bad, and from love you jump into hate from one minute to the next. I just find it really amazing and sometimes terrifying, very scary sometimes.
Because both of this.
Hey! Is it already ended or not? Okay, Karina.
Because both of this. I was in the raise my hand and I couldn't speak. Sorry.
Okay, you finished? Okay, so now we have Paul. Sorry guys.
And I forget my.
So on that point, I think you're right that love and hate are very closely linked, but I don't know, from personal experience and also from other people's experience, it's important to see the difference between love and lust. Something that is just physical and maybe real, but it's physical. Because to me, love should be more like, yeah, you get to know a person and you trust them and you know who they are, or you think you know who they are. But for me, also love should be something that shines in the worst of times, not just in the best of times. So somebody is having some problems in life, and then they have something to depend on. And to me, that's part of love, of course. So, and sometimes people confuse the two. So.
Something related to what Katrina said, like, yeah, like the real love is when you get to know this person. I totally agree with that. But amazing for me is also the first stage of love, when you think that you are in love with this person, but it's more like a passion and curiosity, and the effect like butterflies in your stomach. What is it? Or what's happening with us sometimes? We are losing our mind, we are doing strange things, we forget about the routine which we have day to day, but suddenly we can act like idiots, totally like idiots. And all the processes in our head and in our body in general which are showing up, it's a huge question mark for me. It's not love maybe, it's just the process of falling in love, but it's incredible that we can change and we can be so unpredictable in this stage.
We have Karina.
I try to answer to what you say, that it's not difficult to, because both of these emotions are really strong, like hatiness, yes, and love. So very often people change this emotion from love to hate someone. I think every
We have Evelina.
Okay, Paul started talking about other persons and how this person should react and so on. I think that when you fall in love, you think that the person will make you happy. But if you are not happy by yourself, you will not give this happiness to somebody, because you cannot give something which you just don't possess. And the next the next question is about you have your own needs, okay? And you think that the other person will match all those needs. You just don't take your needs on yourself. You think that the other person will do it. But it's not that, for example, if I want to be happy, I think that this person should make me happy, okay? If I want to have the aim, I'm looking for this person to reach that aim, okay? It's just that taking responsibility for these feelings. It's not that I've got only a 50% of it. No, I have 100% of what will go on with these feelings, okay? And the other person has also 100%. So it's not that, it's not my fault, it's his fault. No, it's the both persons. About how it will change. Will it be still love or just hate, as you mentioned?
Okay. And now we have Paul.
Okay, I'm going to put my hand up. Okay, no, I absolutely agree. I think if a person, I have 2 points actually. The first one is quick. If a person is in a relationship and they say that, okay, so I'll give you this much, but you have to give me exactly this much, you sound like a very capitalistic love, and capitalism is anything but love. So it should be natural, like it's like a fluid. There's no explanation for it, but it's like, it works. For me, anyway, that's ideally what it could be like. And the second point is that I have a question for everyone, and do you guys think that love is one of those things that distinguishes us as humans? What makes us human, right? Is it the key thing that makes us actually who we are, or is it something else?
Okay, we have Natalia.
I wanted to find out that love is somehow a new invention, because some hundreds of years ago, people wouldn't call love the same thing we call now, and it's the huge impact of media, of romantic comedies and stuff, that people kind of grow up with some kind of imagination, and that just a few hundreds years ago, like 300 years ago, still in Poland, there was nothing like love for a child, because children didn't live so long, so you weren't so attached to a person, because you knew like half of the children would die just a few months before the birth or during the birth, so you didn't even give names for children until they grew up until some age of 5, and now we consider love something that you just give to your child anything it turns out or something like this, and also that sometimes it was more of a passion, and people would take it very like body thing, like the attraction, than the real like passion, attraction, but not that deep, long feeling, and they wouldn't attach it to long-term relationship that usually was taken because of historical reasons, political reasons, economical reasons. Just the point of view of someone who, yeah, you wouldn't fall in love the same way years ago than now.
Kasia.
And I would also pre-love is that through the ages love was changing, but also our love was changing during our life. We love in a different way at the beginning of the relationship, we love in a different way after 20 years of being together under the same roof. You don't have the same passion, but you are more attached to this person. You loved him at the beginning because, I don't know, he had long curly hair, and now you love him even though he is bald, but he's the best man in your life. And he's this one who is bringing you coffee in the morning. I don't know, so this love is changing, is evaluating as well. And love even for the things, for the items which we like, after a while we can hate it, because it brings some good or bad memories for us. And the topic which Paul and Evelina mentioned about this 100%, 50-50, I had the impression that sometimes we have like a frame for a guy, we talk about the relationship and love between girl and guy, that we want to fit the second person in this frame. And it's all about the compromises also in love. Like, okay, this is my frame, this is the guy whom I like, whom I love, like how to fit him there. Maybe don't try to push him over there, just accept as he is and love him as he is. Go and compromise and try to be happy.
Gianmarco.
I raised the hand when you were talking. difference between human being and other animal species. We are social animals. So, in my opinion, a human being is still an animal. The difference between the human being and the other animal species is the fact that the human being is social. Not because we love each other, because animals love the children. So again, chess.
No, continue. Bravo, you won.
So this is
Love everybody.
Yeah. Spread love.
I have an idea.
I was thinking
For anybody who comes, I have guys.
I was thinking that they were about to join.
Yeah, go on.
No, but lovely. So this is why, and plus I found myself in a love relationship when the lover, let's say, the beloved, was asking me, if you love me, please do not socialize with other people in general, whenever it is not strictly necessary. So it was like to be in a love relationship, what I needed to do in order to be there, to avoid the red card, was to avoid to socialize with people from my job, with people from my neighborhood, with friends that I have from a long period of time. So as for me, we don't differ to the other human animal species because of the fact that we love each other, but because of the fact that we socialize. And plus, I had 1 year and a half relationship with somebody, and the condition for this person to love me was, please, after work, come back home. And of course, I was obey. I experienced a period of time when I was under this rule, right? So it was like this. If to be in love, it means to not to socialize only when it is strictly necessary for living and for working. 20 more seconds, I can give you a metaphor. As for me, it's like I'm meeting somebody, we start a relationship together. This is my question because you want me to ask a question. Two people now, 20 seconds. Two people are meeting, two persons are meeting each other. My life and your life is a dish. Let's assume it is a dish of pasta. In my case, my dish is pasta with onion, with garlic, with olives, and in your case is with boncek, with whatever. And to be together, it means that we have the possibility to use an extra ingredient like Parmigiano to make my life even more beautiful. But what is happening sometimes is that the other person is saying to you, okay, we can stay together, but if you want the luxury, the pleasure to have Parmigiano on your dish, you need to remove onions. It is 25 years that I'm having pasta with onions in order to have the pleasure to stay with you, so to add an extra ingredient on my dish, you're asking me to remove one basic ingredient during the last 20 years. In my opinion, this is not necessary. It is possible to stay together. My life is a dish, your life is a dish. You can add the extra ingredient without removing any basic ingredient we were having during the last 20-25 years. Excuse me.
This is so
What is your opinion? Do you think that
Is the question for who? For who? Is the
for the next?
okay.
The next you have in the name is on your private screen.
I think someone volunteered to answer the question, so
I answered your question, but first you want.
Oh yeah. Well, just wanted to say something about love, because we all seem to be talking about love towards other people, but do we need to restrict it in this particular fashion? Can it be love or beyond people? It could be love. You can have a connection with passion. It could be a job. It could be other things, art, music. It doesn't always have to be connected with people in some way. Maybe we can go beyond that and look at different forms of love.
Yeah, you're already on the chart, so now.
Yeah, I fully agree. I absolutely agree. And when I say love, I don't mean necessarily like in a relationship to another person. I mean also to like cooking, food, right? To your hobby, to what you like to do. About yourself even. I mean, let's not forget about ourselves. We have to love each other as who we are. Otherwise, what kind of life is that, right? Recently I read a book. The book is called We, and it's by a Russian author, I cannot remember his name, but it's about a world where everything is structured. So when you get up in the morning, you have to make exactly 55 movements to get up off your bed. And it's a world where there is no love. It's a world where every human being is supposedly happy because everything is ordered, and it's exactly ordered. There's no chaos, there's absolutely perfection. But at the same time, this kind of world would be filled with emptiness. You know, so that's why I chose this topic, I guess, or I wanted to choose it, because I think it is important. And I don't think it distinguishes us from animals, because, yeah, humans are social animals, but so are dolphins, so are different species of monkeys, so are different species of butterflies, birds. In every example in nature, you see social interaction, and who are we to say that birds don't love each other? You know, we can't say that. So I don't think it distinguishes us from other groups, but I think that because we are aware of it, and because we're having this discussion, that's what makes us more different, I guess. And also, second point, to anyone entering this door, I say we tell them we love you. Okay?
Who got the proposal? Raise your hands for the proposal of Paul.
That's my proposal.
Okay. Let's do it.
And now you're giving a hug.
Give
Yes.
Evelina.
Okay, I will answer to your question. I think that there should be two kinds of words. First is we, the second one is I. And they are not fighting with each other. You don't need to have the same passions, the same hobby as the other person. You still can have your own passions, okay? Because in that way you stress out, you are getting better and better every day. And when you are growing, this person thinks, oh, this person is quite nice, it's interesting because this person has her own hobby, okay? And when you got my own world, where I can be myself, there's also the other word which is called we. And in we, you have something what is in common. The things that you are sharing together, you got your own history, you have your own, let's say, the subject, you are smiling together, and after many, many years, you see, okay, we were together, I don't know, in Czech Republic, we spent the time together, but still, I've got my own work, so I think that you can have your own work without, and you don't have to fight with we. They can be both together. It's the question if the other person has also the hobby and her own life. If this other person has nothing by himself or herself, she will be just fighting just to have you for yourself.
I would disagree that I think it's a very important issue because like if we don't have our separate life and then the common life, then we will be like a glue. We will be just like the person who will stick to the other, and I think it's a mistake of mostly women, not all of us, but quite often. I don't know, but I think that we are sometimes or very often we are willing to sacrifice more just to satisfy men or to make. You know, like there are women who are staying at home. Like there are plenty of housewives. I've never heard about husband.
Yeah, it's happening. It's real.
Or it's very rare, but I think it has to change, or it's changing already. Like, you know, the old generation, they were doing plenty of things for their guys, for their husbands, for the family. They were sacrificing their own wishes, hobbies, and their own life. I don't know. I will not go to meet with my friends, with the neighbor, because I have to cook dinner for my husband. He's coming back from the work, and so on and so on. So I think it's really important, and I believe that our generation is aware of that. And we are trying to find the middle of the way.
Łukasz.
Okay, I want to say that love, and this is, I mean, English love, yes. And we see movies, they often say love, the songs, they say love. We're discussing here, we're discussing about love. And my conclusion is that love is nothing. Like we are so often using love that is like hello. But when you say kocham in Polish or miłość in Polish language, it's capital different. Can you see this? Love, miłość. You cannot. The same word could have different weight. Like I love you and kocham cię. I love you, you see, you hear I love you all the time in songs, movies. But kocham cię in Poland, I'm not listening. Hear it often, so you know. So it depends about language. Like in English, my opinion is in English love is like hello, but you know, I'm not even in Polish, but I word for it, and it still has some sense.
It's true.
Gianmarco.
This music.
Yeah. It's perfect, guys. Because we don't want to disturb them. Susan?
Let's get high. Let's get high.
Oh.
Well, that's kind of hard to follow, but I love this music. It's really good. I think love is also like we're told what love should be like you were saying, because when you see like an American movie, something like that, and you see on the screen, you know, this is love, this is what love should be like. And I disagree. I don't think it should be like that.
Sorry, it's my opinion.
No.
It's like hello. It's like nothing from me.
No, it's okay, don't worry.
Yeah, but we have to get used to raise our hands.
But
okay,
also,
after you will reply.
What's he saying? So yeah, like we're from, ever since we're little kids, we're told what love is, like everything else. And I think it's part of being in love or falling in love, not with another person, but also with your life. Because I think it's also important to remember that if you don't love yourself, nobody else is going to love you. Because you can see it on people's faces. So part of discovering what love is going beyond that cliche definition of what it is. You know, the old romance in the 1950s or something. That's not real, that's Hollywood. Real love is on the street, and it's happening all around us every day, but we don't see it because we don't know what to look for. We have to get past that. And to be honest, my personal opinion is that love is the only thing that keeps us from destroying each other. And I think I'm gonna cry. It keeps us from destroying each other. Because if you didn't love your fellow human beings, even if you don't say I love you to them, but you have that feeling, you wouldn't kill somebody on the street. Because you feel it's wrong. Because it's your moral compass, and love is like the north, hopefully.
Łukasz.
Yeah, I'd like to say that it should be something very special.
Do it.
You first.
We love you.
No, now you can describe everything by
Yeah, that's what I said.
1, 2, 3, and all of us.
Should be something special because before it's new something, but nowadays everyone is using it and it's lose its sense.
Okay, we have nobody in the list, so raise your hand, somebody that still has said almost nothing. We're waiting for Magda, we're waiting for Anna, we're waiting for Sylvain.
You didn't marry, it's very cool.
Yes.
Sylvain?
I just try to think and this
Oh, nie wiem, bardzo. Karina has a question.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
invent it if you don't.
Create something.
You can do it.
No, not now. No.
Kasia,
Yes,
sure.
because I'm curious of your opinion about love, like falling in love, and love from the first sight. What about arranged marriages? And do you believe that love exists in that kind of marriage? When two strangers suddenly discover that they're going to be a couple and they have to deal with it.
Ready?
One,
2,
We have
3.
how many people?
We love
Okay. We already have Paul, Evelina, and who else? Paul and Evelina.
Alright.
Who was fastest?
About the arranged marriage, there's an interesting statistic actually. That, okay, normal marriages, about 50% end up in divorce. And the arranged marriage, actually most of them don't end up in divorce. They actually end up staying together. And not just because of family reasons, but when they were asked about why are you together, they said that they are in love. So it's kind of counter logic, because you would think that people who are forced to marry wouldn't be happy. But actually the truth is opposite, they are. A lot of them, not all of them.
Okay, in arranged marriages, you don't have the idealistic picture of the person. So you don't think that this person is perfect. You don't expect it to be the one which you have in your mind. So you need to get to know this person and to know what this person is really. And you just fall in love with the person in reality. So that's why maybe those marriages are not getting divorced in such a way as the normal one.
Yeah, I think that my point of view is that these marriages, like you said, like they don't expect anything. They have to get used to the other person. They have to discover what kind of person is it. And suddenly, even if it's not the guy who would fit your frame, because probably they didn't have that kind of frame before getting married, they realize like, okay, it's a fact. I'm going to spend the rest of my life with this guy, and I have to figure out what is good in him. I have to respect him, and maybe sometimes this respect is the beginning to create something more, and that's why that kind of love is more steady and it's more realistic. It's not imagination which we have, but it's the real feeling and attachment to this person.
So we can arrange a marriage for you if you want. Okay. We have nobody in the schedule, so we have Natalia.
So the question is, the person asked if she is in love. The person is asked if she really is in love and never felt the feeling. How can the person answer properly? I mean, if you don't have any comparison, if it was whole your life, if you didn't have opportunity to experience love, your seeing of the word and of the feeling can be completely different than someone who really chose the person and fell in love this way.
Evelina.
I think that it's not that you have never got love in your life. I mean that you just observe how your parents were working together, how they match each other, how they show each other I love you. For example, your mom could cook a dinner for your dad, and you see as she showed in this way that she loves him. Okay, and your dad, for example, helped in home matter. And you say, this is the way my father shows my mom love. And if you have, for example, such a family, you will say that you are not someone who respects the words, I love you, but someone who respects the events, who respects doing something. So you will say, okay, I respect that this guy will help me at home. I don't want from him, I don't know, roses and so on. Okay, it's nice. But if this guy doesn't help me at all, like my dad used to help my mom, then you would say, okay, he doesn't love me because he's not doing it. He may say you the words, but if he's not doing what you are expected him to do, you will say, okay, he doesn't love me.
I think we are getting to the point about different kinds of love. Like, okay, maybe this girl who is into this arranged marriage, maybe she didn't have 10 boyfriends before, but she's learning how to love this person, this particular one, and is adjusting her expectations or needs and expectations to the reality which she's placed in.
Natalia.
Here we come to the question, if you call something love, and how, if someone else's opinion it's not love, the question is, does the person believe that what he is experiencing?
Wait a minute, she's on phone, so
yes,
just wait a second.
Okay. Yeah, I have to clear up the sentence to make
Okay.
I studied theory of communication, and then in this science, we believe that if someone uses the word, even though it calls something that doesn't exist, the thing exists in the mind, in the language, so it makes the feeling exist or something like this. So from the theory of the communication, if someone who, in my personal opinion, is not in love but uses the love word, makes the person be in love. But if you look for the philosophical point of view, if you use a word for God, doesn't make God exist. For example, the God exists if the word God exists in the language. So the same with love. If the person says it's love, but never experienced it, makes the feeling be a love or not? Did I make myself clear?
Yeah, we have another question.
It came to my mind now. Maybe we have the problem nowadays that we are using the word love too much. Maybe I don't have to call it, oh, it's love, but kind of sacrifice and being with this guy, like, okay, like you said, like, is it love or not? If she cannot compare it or he cannot compare it with the other relationships, is it? Yes, maybe it is love, but maybe she or he will not use this word. And the opposite is like nowadays, somebody you were saying that, oh, I love you. It comes so easy to say, but do we really mean it? Or do we really feel it? You think it's even more about feeling. I can say easily, I love you, and it's just a word, just to satisfy the other side, because I know that somebody is expecting it, to hear it, or to have this confirmation. So I think that the meaning of this word nowadays is less and less worth, and in fact is the action which you are doing, the way you are treating the other person, the way you treat yourself. This is more about pure love and pure feelings and emotions.
Oh, and Maurizio too?
He's just pointing at me.
Okay.
I was just gonna say that I fully agree, absolutely agree. I think another word, because love is, you hear it all the time, it's so easy, it's like I love you, I love you, yeah, man, I love you. It's very simple to use it, but I think a better definition of love is it's sacrifice and joy at the same time. If you're happy because you're making a sacrifice, that's another way of saying love. And I don't mean necessarily in a relationship. I mean everywhere. If I don't know, if you help like a homeless person, you know, I mean, I'll give an example. Recently I saw a picture of an NYPD police officer helping a homeless person and giving him shoes and actually putting shoes on his feet, which is amazing to me because usually police beat people up and take the shoes away. And to me that's kind of love. That's because the guy, the police officer, he went out of his job description, service, and he showed like real compassion, real love. Compassion is another word that you can use instead of love. Because I think that
But do you really think that a girl can be happy if you have compassion for her?
Raise the hand.
yes.
I don't have to.
Revenge is bitch. Sorry, can you repeat the question though? Because I didn't hear it.
It was just a joke. Do you think that a girl will be happy if you say to her, you know, my dear, I have compassion for you?
No, I mean, that's like, you have to choose your words in the right situation, of course. I mean, if you do that, then you're pretty much sleeping alone for the next 2 months. But, come on guys, it's true. But it's like, it depends on the situation. I'm talking about the meaning of the word love. Because it's been adulterated, it's been destroyed, and it's been worn down to nothingness at this point, I think. So, you know, I think as people we should be careful when using that word. Because it's a powerful word, it should be powerful anyway. So that's why I agree, it's like, yeah, I agree.
I think first the compassion. Of course that you should feel compassionate. If your partner is sick, you will not laugh at him like, oh come on, stop joking, move your ass and go outside. No, you have to feel this compassion. You have to help. If I know your partner will lose the job, you have to
Parapetówka.
No, pępówka.
Pępówka.
Parapetówka?
No, pępówka.
Baby.
Baby. Family. Nie, pępówka.
How come every party in Poland ends in ówka? Parapetówka.
We can all join.
No tak. Baby shower.
So I was saying that I think all kind of feelings should be included, like compassion, like passion, compassion, whatever else. But you should support the other person. And that was my first question, which I directed to Paul. What does it mean, love for you, in 5 words? Because for everybody it can be something different. You know, it's not only passion. What is this love for 20 years old people, and what is love for olders, like 80 years old grandma who has husband, kids, grandkids, great-grandkids, different kinds of love and different feelings. Then she will not say that, oh, I love you, but maybe I respect you, I will support you, and that can be even better than this word love, which is everywhere.
Does anybody else hate Valentine's Day? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Everyone else?
Everywhere, nobody in the
I hate that. No, serio, because it's like love for sale, you know? And you can't buy me love, so how can you have Valentine's Day?
Once again?
Valentine's Day, it's like love is for sale. And according to John Lennon, my God, he says you can't buy me love. So how can you have Valentine's Day?
It's a business.
Of course, I hate it. It's like McDonald's love or something.
Oh yeah.
I think that the Valentine's Day, the idea, the first idea was just to remind people and to make them aware, like, hey, remember about these whom you love. Remember to express it from time to time at least, that you love the other person. But now it's like more commercial, of course. But the idea, I think it's great, like Valentine's Day, like you have somebody next to you, show your love, share it with him.
Every day should be Valentine's Day.
Yes, that's true.
Without the candy and all that bullshit.
Yes, it's commercial nowadays.
Sylvain?
Okay, so as for me, I have a different viewpoint that is from my experience, because so different people have different experiences, because different situations. So there is a large majority of people who discuss, well, the way you did about what is love, but as for me, and I think there are some people, maybe a minority that is silenced because somehow it is made ashamed by the others who have a different experience and different kind of problems as concerning love. And one of my problems is that I have a different personality, different kinds of interests, and for this reason, it is very hard for me to find anyone with whom I can have any common interest. And for this reason, I happen to be very isolated, and consequently I am depressed, and there is a misjudgment that is widespread. If I am depressed, then the negativity would come from myself, and I would have to work on myself on my own. I don't know how to work on my own, how to find love in myself in order to be a lovely person in myself, in order to attract other people. But the problem is that anyway, I see no point to try to attract other people with whom I have no common interest. And I think the problem is not for myself. It's a problem of circumstance. The circumstance that I happen to be more different than others, and for this reason, I am unlucky. And I have another problem that I have faced is that there are some people who somehow try to practice their love for me somehow, in some way, to help me in some way. The problem is that as I'm very different, so the way they try to help me, in fact, cannot help me, because they try to help me in the way they think. And in the way they think, in fact, it's irrelevant to my life, and what they try to do for me is destructive to my life. And somehow I would say that I hate the way in which some people love me, because they are destroying me by their way of loving me according to their idea, just because they happen to be happy for some reason or for some other reason, and they just because they happen to be happy. They think they have lessons to teach me, and I'm sorry, but I think there is a large part of chance and a biased destiny, so that some people are happy. It's not because they are better, and so when they try to help me by giving good advice, and it forces me to be angry against their stupid advice, which is totally irrelevant and totally misjudging to my life. And I think that somehow love is a very bad thing. Their way to love me is a very bad thing, because it is misdirected and it hurts me rather than it helps me. And so how would it be possible to help me? And I have found a solution how to help many people with similar situation, and the solution is not about wondering what is love. The solution, I think, is a logical and practical and technical solution. How is it possible to make a system that can be efficient in helping people that never met each other, but that would fit, that would have some things in common, that have better chances to fit, how to help them meet. And I think this is a true question that can be much more helpful to many people, how to help find their love. And so I don't see the point of about discussing about love, because if we discuss about love, what is love, then in practice, I don't see how it helps. But I see a way how to help in practice people find love. It is by logical, mathematical means, designing a logical system, either by software or without software. I have a concept of how to organize a movement, organize people in such a way that it would help people find their love. And I think that such a logical work would be much more useful to love than any discussion about what love is.
Okay, now we take other three people, and after we're going to go straight to the last decision of this philosophical cafe. So the first one is full. Let's take now the other two, or after, as you prefer, but if you want to say something, just think of it and raise your hand now or nevermore. Paul.
Well, I just wanted to respond to your comment. Where do I begin? A couple of things. First of all, if somebody tries to teach you how to fall in love and how to find love, I think they're full of shit. Because love is something that you can't teach. It's impossible. That's the beautiful thing about it. You have to learn it yourself, and you shouldn't, not you personally, but a person shouldn't try to force it. Because that's when the problems arise.
It's not what they try to force, but I cannot sum up what they are. So when people try to help me, not only in this way, not only about how to fall in love, but for other problems of my life.
Yeah, because they try, I mean, in today's society, I feel that people who have something try to impose that on others. So for example, somebody who is in love, or who has a Ferrari, or has a nice apartment, they look down on me, for example, at that moment, and they try to say, oh, you should be better, you should be like me. Not necessarily like in a negative way, but even if they try to help, they're hurting you. I understand that, because I felt it too. That's true, but that's not what I'm talking about when I say falling in love. That's like counter love. That's not love. That's nothing but them looking down on you. And if you try to find somebody that is not like you, and you try to be in love with them, that's never going to work, because, not to me anyway, it wouldn't work. It would be impossible. So, and I agree with you about the whole efficiency thing. I mean, I think the great tool for people, because people are becoming more isolated, I think, in the society that we live in. I mean, in Korea, for example, in Seoul, I don't know if you guys know Seoul. It is one of the biggest cities in the world. Really, yeah, Seoul in South Korea. First is New York, then it's like Los Angeles, Tokyo, and Seoul. And the big problem is that people live in apartments and they don't talk to anybody. It's complete isolation. They become like a prisoner in their own apartment, because that's the way their society is structured. So how do you overcome that? There's tools. You can, for example, use internet. I mean, online dating is becoming more popular. Internet is like a tool of communication, like what you were saying, Natalia, about communication theory. It's a very important part of love. So, yeah, like my bottom line, I guess, is that if somebody's trying to force love, or if you're trying to force love,
it's not, they don't try to force love.
Or try to teach you. No, it's welcome. Then it's like, it doesn't work, because it becomes something that's supposed to be nice and beautiful and pure, and it makes it into something that's not, fake, false, and I'd rather not be in love than have that kind of imposition on me. So yeah, so I don't think anybody should be submitted into somebody else's careness. That I love you, I know what's best for you, that kind of an idea. No, you don't know what's best for me, because you're not me. That's what people misunderstand sometimes, especially parents. I don't know if anybody here is a parent, but from a developmental psychology perspective, it's always better to let the child develop in their own way. There's different schools of thought, but when children discover, it's called discovery learning, when they discover something, love or something else, they know what it really is. The guy who sings knows what I'm talking about. I love this song. So that's all, yeah, very cool. So that's all I wanted to say, I don't know.
Who else wants to speak? 3, 2, 1. So
Love is like an ocean.
Love is like
about the topic, and love is like an ocean.
Okay.
It's deep and it's passionate, and you just have to lose
And in the
yourself.
ocean there are plenty of fishes and other
And sharks.
animals and so on, and so many kinds of love, and probably you can never describe 100% what is it, because you can always add one more thing and one more thing. So it's like plenty of people, and we are all different, plenty of love and love stories, and all of them will be various.
In my humble opinion, it doesn't have to be described, it has to be experienced.
Okay.
That's experience what we are talking about.
Don't call it by name.
And the orgy starts right now! Okay, no, not here.
Sorry.
Now we're talking.
Okay. So we have last 3 people. Now I would like to thank Vadim to organize, because everything is the rest of you. And I would like you to have a conclusion of the philosophical cafe about love. So, and after we will make the final and hardest decision of all our process. So come on.
To sum up, well, it is difficult. I think we have a very good discussion tonight, and we talk about different aspects of love, and we have good exchange of opinions, lots of good ideas, and it's still difficult to define what it is. I guess it's such a simple, word, such a short word as well, but it manages to generate such a huge discussion tonight, and for a long time as well. But I think what you said, let's not talk about it, but try and feel it, experience it. That's probably a very good way to, I guess, to conclude.
So, thank you once again. And now the hardest decision is, I would like to propose you to go drink something somewhere, and I would like you to propose some place and vote about it.
Tutaj na miejscu. Tutaj.
Well. Wait a minute. Gianmarco,
They're supposed to pay 15 zlotys.
I propose tutaj na miejscu.
moment.
Tutaj, Guido, Conio, che non lo sai.
Gianmarco Falanster, who wants something else?
Niepota maybe, because there is some concert.
Not by myself, only with Guido.
No,
only with Guido.
Okay.
No. With Guido or no?
Okay.
Only with Guido. Cheers, na zdrowie.
Yeah, it's okay, but unfortunately, it's 15 zlotys.
Careful.
For the concert.
Wait. Karina
Very close.
Nietota.
I'm saying.
You want this?
5 times. I'm saying.
Not in Niepota.
Who wants to propose something else?
After the concert.
Hey. Who wants to propose something else?
Nietota, the concert, if you like.
Nietota, we already have Karina for Nietota.
Somebody else, but that's me.
And so we have Falanster, Nietota and Caravan.
What is Caravan?
Caravan is a new place on the same street, just 2 minutes on foot. And it's a place with beer and some snacks. I'm personally
I would eat much, like coś masz
Zapomniał
czapkę, najpierw czapkę. Tutaj, zostajemy.
A, że tu zostajemy, okej.
Wait a minute, I have to take back Gianmarco.
To facet jest z filmu. On jest jak najbardziej.
On jest
Skąd oni go wzięli?
on by się nadawał do ojca chrzestnego. To jest taki ten Leon.
Słuchaj, jak byłem w Czarnym Kocie, to on rozmawiał o kapitalizmie i tak dalej. Ja myślałem, że facet po prostu
So well,
Na tej samej ulicy właśnie.
we have just 3 places proposal.
Because this is
Thank you.
Nie mogę tego.
Dwóch pakietów.
from 2011.
mówią po polsku, właśnie tak na cały.
Okay, now we have Gianmarco that in one sentence have to defend Falanster. Come on.
We have everything we need.
Are you sure?
Okay.
Everybody, let's sing the drum.
Now raise your hand who have questions. Raise your hand who have questions for Gianmarco.
Are you from a movie?
Okay.
You should be in the street.
Karina, you have to defend Nietota.
No, Nietota is my...
So, you are a stakeholder of Nietota.
Okay.
Słuchajcie, oni nas zaraz nawet wykopią. Także idziemy sobie pronto, okej?
Another idea, Maria and Anya thought about Karama.
Yeah, so wait a minute. Are you for Nietota, yes or not?
Yes, it was my proposal.
But you prefer Nietota or Karaba?
It doesn't matter for me.
Okay, do you prefer Nietota or Karaba?
Ja z nim nigdy nie będę.
I am for Nietota.
So you will defend Nietota.
Nietota.
Okay. Nietota.
Ja Nietota.
Nietota is some live music and it is for free. There are some couch surfers because they are proposing for couch surfing. Yes, it's nice, but unfortunately they will ask you 15 zlotys. If everybody wants to pay, and I'm okay with it because I like the monsters.
Okay.
I don't know if it's nice, I'm okay.
You have a question for Maurizio.
No question because I said everything.
So we have Natalia for Karaba.
Karaba is a new place. It's next to. It's like 1 minute and
Never heard.
it's nice and it's on the same street, yeah, on the same street.
What's
We
the other
have to
thing?
go out from here, but we can be there very soon.
But if we go to Nietota, we join to another people.
Okay. Gianna, really? Yeah, but of course you vote for Falaste. Who want to stay here, raise your hand.
He's missing.
One hand.
Who want to go to Nietota?
I can go.
Who want to go, who want to go to Karaba?
4. You won't.
4 against 4. Ooh.
Ah, 4.
Yes. Jeszcze raz. Dla Nietota.
And you can go.
I cannot. I have not this right. Nietota. Who want to go to Nietota?
Who wants to get some
Nietota. Raz, dwa, trzy. Karawan. Raz, dwa, trzy, cztery. Idziemy do Karawan. Dobra, dziękuję.
Co? Karawan?
Idziemy do Karabena.